Hello, my name is Pauline Rowson and I'm the author of the D.I. Andy Horton crime series set on the south coast of England. In this video, which was shot at Crime Fest in Bristol on the 31st of May 2013, I'm running an In the Spotlight session talking about the perfect system for writing a crime novel. This is a very short excerpt from a 30-minute session. I hope you enjoy watching it.
So if I've got Andy Horton running along Southsea seafront after work at 9:15 in broad daylight, it's wrong because the sun's set. So it's useful to know sunrise, sunset, and because they are set against the backdrop of the sea, various marinas and harbours, I need to know what time is high tide and what time is low tide. And sometimes that has a critical bearing on the story itself, and it's also important because there's always some bright spark on Amazon review who's going to say, she said there was a body in that cove at a certain time, and I know for a fact you can't even get a boat up there because it's low tide at that certain time on that certain day. So you don't think that's true, but people do. But also I think it's quite important because I want to get it right because then it's real to me. And if it's real to me, hopefully it will be real to the reader. So I'll also put up high tide and low tide, and also if I've got my characters going into different marinas and harbours, some marinas have got locks, some haven't, some you can only get into at certain states of the tide. It's technical information, the reader won't know that, but it's important for me, as I said, because it adds realism to it. So each chapter will then go through here. Chapter 2 is pages 13 to 28, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, with notes and also details about timings and how long the victim's been dead, and the timings of each chapter, because they do take place over a short period of time. Now we know in real life police investigations are likely to be much longer than they are in a book. So I need to keep track of what time it is on Tuesday or Monday or whenever. And where they are, where the scenes are taking place. That's on Ashton's yacht, that's on the ferry back from the Isle of Wight. It's Tuesday, it's midnight. And as I go through each of these, keeping a record, I'd also flag up, I can't find any on here, but what I tend to do is I flag up on the side the questions that occur to me as I'm writing, the questions that need to be answered by the end of the book. So all the questions that I flag up as I go through, like, well, how did he get from A to B, and why did he do this? I put on a separate list that is flagged up, usually questions, and also I've got add in. And what that means is adding bits into the book as I go along. Because you can always add in the clues and the red herrings after you've written it, because they're not always obvious when you write that first draft. So all here, I will keep a list of the questions, and I usually sort of flag up the pages on the computer that they refer to. Question, how did Daniel Redsaw get onto the pontoon without being seen by the security cameras? Because there are security cameras on every marina. So how did he get on? Now I'm thinking that if you're, as a reader, are reading it, you might be thinking that. So you've got to say, well, how did he do that? So by the end of the book, I have got to be able to have answered all of those questions that the reader would hopefully ask themselves as they're reading it.